At 6:41 p.m., my apartment hums like a clean refrigerator. The AC clicks on. A neighbor's dog barks twice and stops, like it remembered its manners. I set a carton of strawberries on the counter and take off my shoes. My belly presses the elastic of my leggings in that slow, heavy way. 29 weeks today. The baby turns. It feels like a goldfish flipping inside a warm bowl. My phone buzzes on the table. One new message banner slides across the lock screen. Aunt Diane, forwarded. Reminder, baby shower for Maya this Saturday. Church Fellowship Hall, 2 to 4 p.m. Wear pastel. Please, no drama. Don't tell Maya ahead. She makes things awkward. My thumb freezes above the glass. The banner vanishes. I unlock. The text is there, still open from my aunt, threaded above a photo of pastel napkins and a game that's just rows of tiny baby bottles. Under the flyer, I can see the original sender. Mom, a second ping. This time, the screenshot of a group chat I don't belong to. We'll keep it a surprise so there's no issues. No mention of the father. I'm steering the program so it stays classy. A blue bubble reply from my sister Amber. Totally agree. If she's not there, we can do speeches without her cutting in. Let's keep it upbeat. My cousin Tori. I'll put the registry on the invite. Did we get her Amazon login? Mom again. Already fixed it. Shipping address updated to our house. We'll drop things at her door after. I read that part twice. I can feel the baby turn again. A slow press against my ribs, like she is listening. The box of strawberries has fogged on the inside. Water beads on the lid. I call my aunt. She picks up on the second ring. Hey, honey! You forwarded something by mistake, I say. My voice sounds calm. It's the calm that shows up right before a seatbelt locks. A shower I'm not invited to. For me. Silence. Then, oh no. She makes things awkward. Is that the line? I ask. That's the reason? Aunt Diane sighs. She loves me in the way of people who bring soup when you're sick and tell you it needs more salt. Your mom thought, last time you got upset about the belly touching and... I ask them to ask first, I say. I can taste copper under my tongue. That was the drama? And the Facebook photos, she adds, softer. You said no sonogram pictures online. Your mother didn't think it was a big deal, and I took them down, I finish. Aunt Diane takes a breath. I'm sorry, Maya. I wouldn't have sent you that on purpose. Thank you, I say, and I mean it. It's weird how the truth you weren't supposed to see feels both like a punch and a piece of oxygen. When is it? Saturday. 2 days. I set the phone down next to the strawberries. The baby kicks once, clean and certain. I think of the baby shower game sheets my mom used to make. Guess the date, guess the weight. I think of her hands on a microphone in church basements, voice booming cheerful plans that are actually orders. I think of Amber smiling soft and surgical. We kept it upbeat. I think of the registry, my registry, that I opened on my couch with tea, choosing the $8 nail clippers and the cheap swaddles, telling myself it was enough. And Mom just changed the address. Of course she did. My phone lights again. This time it's Jade, my best friend. We've known each other since I was 11 and tried to sell friendship bracelets at the school fair for $7 that were worth maybe $2. She still bought 3. You free? She texts. I have ice cream and opinions. I type back. Yes. Bring the meanest chocolate you can find. 10 minutes later, she's on my couch, socks half off, hair in a pile that says she left the house fast. She listens while I read the messages out loud. She makes a fist. They planned a party for you without including you because you ask for consent? And because you don't want your medical pictures on Facebook? That's not awkward. That's adult. I pull a blanket over my knees. They changed the registry address to their house. Jade's eyebrows lift. Okay, that's theft wrapped in pastel. I don't want to fight, I say. My voice feels thin. I wanted one thing about this to be mine. It can be, she says. We're going to make it yours. How? I ask. Jade leans back. With receipts, with cake, with a microphone if we have to. I try to laugh. It comes out like a cough. I don't want a scene. We don't do scenes, she says. We do boundaries. The baby moves again. I put my palm under my ribs and press just enough to say I feel you. Jade follows my hand with her eyes, her face softening. What do you need right now? I need a plan, I say. And dessert. We make a list on the back of a takeout menu because real life looks like that. It's messy and the pen skips where soy sauce already died. We write, call Dr. Patel, ask for an extra printed ultrasound with my name, and DOB and DONOTPOST across the bottom. Order a cake, not a gender reveal. A boundary reveal. Words on top. Print my registry with my address circled in fat marker. Make a one-page handout. House rules for baby plus mom. Go where the party is. Walk in like a guest. Act like the mother, because I am. It's bold, Jade says, mouth full of ice cream. But simple. Simple, I repeat. Relatable. Also, she adds, you're going to look incredible. We'll find you a dress that says, Peaceful Earthquake. I picture my mother's face when she sees me. I picture the fellowship hall with its coffee urns and folding tables, and the smell of old potluck rolled into the carpet. I picture a cake with words iced clean so nobody can pretend they didn't see them. My stomach tightens. The baby presses one elbow or foot and holds. I breathe through it. What if it blows up? I ask. Then you leave, Jade says, because you're not a stage. You're a person. I nod. The AC kicks off. The apartment rests. The strawberries are still sweating on the counter. I pick one up and eat it over the sink. It tastes like July used to feel, before adults started narrating everything. At 9:04 p.m., I text Aunt Diane. I appreciate the heads up. I'll handle it. At 10:12, Dr. Patel's nurse writes back, we can print a copy. Stop by anytime tomorrow. At 10:40, I set an alarm for 7 a.m. Type cake message ideas into my notes and fall asleep with the phone still in my hand. The baby turns once more, slower this time, like she's turning her face toward the good kind of noise. Friday morning, the sun is a practical yellow. It hits the kitchen table and makes everything honest. The toast is too brown. The dish towel is a little sour. I'm 32 and pregnant, and I still call my mother before big talks, even though most of our calls end with a hollow feeling, like I swallowed an ice cube whole. I don't call her today. I put on a blue cotton dress with a square neck and pockets and sandals that slide on without bending. The baby settles low when I sit, like a bowling ball with opinions. I put my health insurance card in a clear sleeve and head to the clinic. Dr. Patel's office smells like hand soap and peppermint gum. The nurse takes me back and prints 2 glossy ultrasound pictures. She slides them into a manila envelope like secrets, then stops. Do you want a third one? I do, I say. One for my wall, one for a folder, one for a cake table. She grins. Put me down for cake if it gets weird. At this point, I say, cake is my best friend. At the bakery, the woman behind the counter has butter on her forearm like a badge. The air is sweet and warm, like someone opened an oven and hugged you with it. She pulls out a form. What are we writing? I swallow. Not, it's a boy, or girl. Just a message. I slide the note I made last night across the counter. It looks better in pen than it felt in my chest. She reads it and looks up at me like people do when they recognize a good fight that isn't about fighting. Classy, she says, and clear. I nod. Chocolate inside, buttercream outside. The big sheet. Pastel sprinkles because apparently that's the theme. She scribbles. Pick up tomorrow at 11? That's perfect. I'm surprised how much I mean it. Back home, Jade sits at my table with her laptop already open. She has printed my Amazon registry. My name, my address in neat black type. She's circled it in thick green marker. She's added a second sheet. Screenshots of the shipping address change. They're going to say you made it confusing, she says, so we're going to make it obvious. We make the one-page handout. Title at the top, Baby plus Mom House Rules. Not cute script, not clip art, just words that feel like doors you can't pretend you didn't see. Ask before touching my belly or baby. No sonogram or baby photos online without my written okay. No using my name or baby's name publicly without asking first. Registry shipments go to my address only. Mom makes medical decisions. Full stop. At the bottom, I put my phone number and text for visits. We love planned help. Jade suggests a line that makes it sound like warmth and not offense. Boundaries are just instructions for love. We print 20 copies and slide them into a clear folder with a blue spine. We tape a pen to the front because pens make things official even when you're standing next to a table with Diaper the baby dolls. At noon, Aunt Diane texts, "Your mom is at the fellowship hall. White tablecloths. Plastic champagne glasses. The game where you can't say baby or you lose your clothespin. It's a lot." I take a breath. I'm not going to ruin a party, I tell Jade. You're going to host your own inside theirs, she says. For 15 minutes. At 2:13 p.m., my mom calls. I watch her name fill the screen and count to 5 before I answer. Hi, I say. Her voice is bright and practiced. Sweetie, how are you feeling? I stand at the sink. The lemon suds look like a commercial. Pregnant. She laughs. That's our girl. Listen, can you swing by the church tomorrow around 4? We want to drop off some things for you. Are you hosting a shower? I ask. There's a pause. Short. Tidy. We're gathering some ladies to bless you. We didn't want you to feel overwhelmed, so we're keeping it simple. You didn't invite me because you think I make things awkward. I say. I keep my tone soft. If I raise my voice, she'll say, I yelled. Another pause. Longer. Diane shouldn't have forwarded that. She didn't plan your words. She just sent them. My mother take a breath that I can picture. Shoulders back. Smile pressed on. Maya, you know how people can be. You have a lot of rules. We didn't want anyone to feel scolded. I have boundaries, I say. Because I'm a person. Because the baby is a person. We were going to bring everything to you, she says, voice thinning. Avoid the awkwardness. You were going to move my registry, I say. Avoid my address. She doesn't deny it. It's easier if I manage it. For who? For everyone. For you, I say. Not for me. She exhales. I'm trying to make this special. You can, I say. Tomorrow at 2? I'll be there. In a dress that fits. With a cake. What cake? The question lands like a dropped utensil. You'll see. I hang up because sometimes the kindest thing is to stop a conversation before it starts pretending to be something else. I text Jade, 2 p.m. Fellowship Hall, stage light at the end of the world. She replies with 3 emojis: a cake, a microphone, a shield. The baby pushes hard under my ribs. I press back, gentle. You and me, I whisper. We're going to do this like women who know where the exits are, and also how to bake. Saturday, the sky is the exact gray of a church parking lot. Jade drives because getting in and out of the car gracefully has become a team sport. The fellowship hall doors open before we knock. Tori beams at us like she is a hostess cupcake. Maya? You're here. Seems like an event for me, I say, and smile enough to not confuse the troops. Behind her, the room is a wedding reception starter pack. White tablecloths, balloons tied to mason jars. The food table holds tiny quiches and a suspicious bowl of punch. On the stage, a banner in loopy font, celebrating mommy-to-be. The font curls like it wants to hide the fact that I'm not standing under it. Mom is at the far end with a microphone. She freezes when she sees me. Everyone, she says into it, then pulls it away and tries again with her outside voice. Maya's here! There's a soft sound that people make when they weren't told the truth. Not quite a murmur. More like a blanket moving. I wave. Hi. Jade carries the cake. It is a full sheet, heavy and hopeful. The icing is smooth like the surface of a new pond. In the middle, in neat blue letters, the words, Invite the mom. Ask before you post. Boundaries are love. On the bottom edge, smaller, like footnotes. Registry ships to Maya's address. Please don't change it. People stare. Then they laugh, not unkindly. A few clap, like maybe this is a TED Talk about frosting. Mom recovers. We wanted to surprise you, she says. The exclamation point quivers. I was surprised, I say, that you moved my registry. There's that blanket noise again. Tori's eyes flick to the floor. Aunt Diane comes to my side, breathless. You look beautiful, she whispers, and for a second I am just a daughter being told something good. Amber appears with a stack of games. We're doing baby bingo, she says to the room at large. But first, a few words from Mom. Nope, Jade says cheerfully. She sets the cake on the center table, then clears a space next to it like she is cutting a ribbon. She looks at me and nods. The mom would like to speak. I don't take the microphone. I don't need to be amplified. The room is small enough and I am done making myself small inside it. Thank you for coming, I say. Plain. True. Thank you for gifts and rides and soup and the socks my aunt knitted that look like emotional support. A few chuckles. The tension unwinds a hair. I want to keep this short because there are mini quiches and we respect hot food, I add. I made you a handout. I hold up the blue-spined folder like a teacher. It's not rules because I like control. It's instructions because I like peace. I pass the stack to Aunt Diane. She carries it like communion and starts handing them down the tables. I see people reading, lips moving along with the bullets, some nodding, a few frowns. The lady from Mom's Bible study squints at written okay, like I wrote it in French. Also, I say, and lift the manila envelope. This is my ultrasound. It has my name and date. If you would like to see it, ask me. If you would like a copy, I will hand you one, so we all know what got shared to whom. Please don't post it. It's a medical picture of a person who didn't agree. I walk the envelope to the first table. A white-haired woman, Mrs. Perkins, who taught me to tie a bowline knot at camp, takes it with both hands. We'll keep it off the internet, she says softly, passing it to the woman beside her. I believe her. She knows knots. My mother swallows. She looks like a hostess whose script flipped in her hands. This is unusual, she says into the air. It's called parenting, Jade says, too loud, and then clamps her mouth closed like she reeled the line back in. I set the registry printouts on the table next to the cake. The circle around my address looks like a spotlight. If you sent something to my mother's house, that was a mistake. I keep my eyes on the paper. If I look up, I will see my mother's face. Feel free to update your orders. Or don't. I have enough. Truly. Amber laughs a sound that isn't humor. Maya, nobody's trying to rob you. You changed my shipping address, I say. Her cheeks flush. Mom thought... I know what Mom thought. I look at my mother then. She blinks. The baby flips, and I steady myself with a hand on the table. Slice knife, paper plates, everything you need. This is my baby, I say as if someone forgot. I invited myself because I'm the mother. There's a hitch in my mother's mouth at the word mother. It loosens something between us I didn't plan to touch. For a second, behind her costume of organizer, I see a woman who once braided my hair in a kitchen with a radio on and told me I had a good head for days when other people were losing theirs. The room breathes. I breathe with it. I cut the cake. The first slice goes to Mrs. Perkins. The second to the teenager who stacked the chairs with such care that the lines look like a photograph. The third to Aunt Diane. People line up without anyone telling them how. They take plates. They smile like humans do when something is both unexpected and exactly what it should have been. My mother comes to the table and puts both hands on the edge like she needs to hold still. You blindsided me, she says quietly. You threw a party about me without me, I say, equally quiet. We're even. Her eyes drop to the cake words. Invite the mom, she reads. Iced in buttercream, I say. So we can't pretend it wasn't said? She looks at the ultrasound envelope in the hands of Mrs. Perkins, now at table 3. Everyone will think we're difficult, she says. Maybe they'll think we learned, I say. Those are different. Amber drifts up beside her. Can we still do Don't Say Baby? She asks, trying for a joke. Yes, I say. But if anyone touches my belly without asking, they lose 2 clothespins. Laughter that time, real. The shower is shorter than my mother planned and longer than I thought I could bear. It lasts exactly as long as the coffee stays warm. People hug me with one arm and ask first. They take copies of the handout like sheet music. They look at the ultrasound like it is a private book they were allowed to borrow. A few grandmas in pastel cardigans tell me about 1989 when nobody asked them anything, and their voices hold both a plea and an apology inside. Near the end, my mother picks up the microphone again. I want to say one thing, she says. Her voice wobbles and then clears. We love Maya. We are proud of Maya. We will follow Maya's instructions. She glances at me like the word might bite her, and then smiles for real. Because boundaries are instructions for love. Jade squeezes my hand so tight it hurts in a good way, like when a doctor presses a spot and you know the blood got there. I blow out a candle that someone stuck in a leftover slice, and the room claps. We stack plates. We tuck napkins into a bag that will live in someone's trunk for 6 months. My mother hugs me. She presses her cheek against mine like she is making an imprint. You could have embarrassed me, she whispers. I tried not to, I say. You did it. She searches for the word and seems surprised when she finds it. Kindly. That was the point, I say. We take the cake home in a box that smells like flour and endings. The ultrasound goes back into the envelope. The manila is creased now. It looks used. It looks honest. On the drive, the baby hiccups inside me, tiny jumps that make me laugh the way hiccups do even in utero. Jade laughs too. What? She asks. She has hiccups, I say. Jade puts a hand on my belly and waits. The baby hiccups again and Jade's eyes light up like she heard a secret. Hi, she whispers. Your mom is a lighthouse. I look out at the Target and the dry cleaner and the nail place where they know me now. Ordinary American Saturday. Parking lot lines, flags on poles. We pass the church again, and I can see Aunt Diane holding a trash bag, laughing at something Mrs. Perkins said. It looks like a regular day, the kind people forget unless they write it down. On a bright Sunday in June, a small banner hangs across my patio. Happy birthday, June Bug. We call her that because it fits, because she arrived in late June with hair like a question mark and a cry that sounded like, "Excuse me." She is one now. Her fists are the size of plums. She walks like a tiny emperor. She says da for dog and ba for ball and ma for me, which is a relief. My backyard smells like sunscreen and watermelon. There are 6 folding chairs, a picnic blanket, and a bubble machine from the drugstore that is doing its best. Jade brought her camera and a bowl of potato salad. Aunt Diane brought a quilt that looks like afternoon. My mother brought a carrot cake with a number 1 candle, and a look on her face like she is walking a tightrope, and also enjoying it. No one posted our address. No one posted our faces. The pictures live on my fridge and in a folder, and in my phone under a password that is not my birthday. People text to ask before they visit, and I say yes a lot because it feels good to say yes when you are allowed to say no. Speech, someone calls. It's Jade. Of course it's Jade. I clear my throat. I could talk about everything. About the shower that started with a mistake and ended with a cake that still lives in 3 different family group chats as a cautionary tale and a how-to. About the week after, when my mom quietly changed the registry back and apologized without a microphone. About the day in the hospital when there were 3 visitors on the list, and 2 of them were nurses, and it felt right. Instead, I keep it simple. Thank you for coming, I say, and the words feel shiny because they are true the way true things are. Thank you for asking before you snapped photos and wiped faces and for wiping them anyway. Thank you for loving June in ways that make her bigger and me smaller in the way you are supposed to get smaller when you are carried. Jade has tears in her eyes and pretends they are from the bubbles. My mother takes a turn without asking, which would have been a problem a year ago, and today feels like a gift. I would like to say, she begins, words trembling, that my daughter taught me something important, and I am 60 and still teachable. She glances at me. Boundaries are love with instructions. I have them on my fridge. We laugh, all of us, because pictures of rules on a fridge are as American as leftover pizza and chore charts. It feels good to laugh at the right thing. We cut the carrot cake. The top says 1. The side says nothing, and that is the best part. I think of the cake last year with its short sentences in blue sugar, the way people stopped and read, the way no one could pretend they didn't hear because the words were edible. After the cake, the baby naps in the shade. People talk in the language of paper plates. My father, who spent most of the last year pretending he didn't know how to say, "I'm sorry," picks up a trash bag and ties it like a sailor. He looks at me. He clears his throat. "Good party," he says. It is the smallest olive branch, and it is heavy in my palm. Later, when the house is quiet and it's just me and the dishwasher humming and a baby monitor glowing green, I open a box in my closet. Inside are 3 things from last year's shower. A folded copy of the handout, the envelope with the ultrasound, creases and all, and 2 paper plates. One with frosting dried in the shape of the word INVITE. One with nothing but crumbs. I keep them because sometimes you need to remember that you didn't make it up. That your boundaries weren't a phase. That your words were printed on sugar, and people ate them and then said thank you. My phone buzzes. A message from Aunt Diane. Saw Mrs. Perkins at the farmer's market. She told me to tell you she still doesn't post pictures that aren't hers. She said she thinks about your cake every time she almost does. I smile. I take a picture of June's palm against the glass door, fat and perfect, prints with jam still in the whirls. I don't send it. I put my phone down and pick up my child. She smells like baby shampoo and summer and possibility. "Hey, June bug," I whisper. "Your mom threw you a party where everyone invited you first." She pats my cheek like a cat and says, "Ma." In the kitchen, the carrot cake sits under a dome. I take a fork to it, standing at the counter like the women in my family have always done when the house is quiet and the church is closed and the speeches are over. I taste cinnamon and cream cheese and the kind of relief that doesn't sparkle but keeps. A year ago, they held a baby shower for me without me, because I make things awkward. I showed up with the ultrasound. I served cake with a message. Today, the message is simpler. It fits on a single line that runs through everything I do. Invite the mom. Ask before you post. Boundaries are love. June breathes against my neck. The bubble machine clicks as it turns itself off. Outside, the yard holds its breath and then lets it go. Inside, I turn off the kitchen light and carry my daughter down the hall, past the handout pinned to the corkboard, past the manila envelope, past the cake dome, past the person I used to be who thought she had to make her case softer to be heard. The nursery smells like laundry and books. I lay June down and cover her with the quilt Aunt Diane made. On the shelf is a wooden sign that Jade gave me after the shower last year. The letters are small. The way truth is when it's been tested and found sturdy. We don't do scenes, we do boundaries. I stand in the doorway and listen to the soft, even sound of a baby who is safe because I learned to be kind and also to be clear. I turn out the light. In the dark, the message stays.